Hi everybody, Sam White here, founder at Shakespeare in Detroit. I hope you all are healthy and happy and having a wonderful Wednesday. I wanted to stop by to give you a brief update on Shakespeare in Detroit. But first and foremost, I want to announce our fall 2025 production. If you haven't noticed already, we've been talking about it a bit on our social media channels because we're hosting auditions this Saturday. But our show, our fall 2025 production, is a beautiful play called Jane Eyre, and it's by the playwright Talene Monahan. And I'm super excited about this play. I'll be directing it. It's a four-hander, so there's four characters in the show. There's Jane Eyre, the title character. She's quite a wonderful, ferocious character, I think, filled with humor, savvy. She's quite quippy. You know, she always has a response to anything that William Shakespeare says. She's fun, she's sexy, she's cool, she's innovative, she's brave. And so I'm really excited about directing a play with her as the titular character. So yeah, four characters: Jane Eyre, there's William Shakespeare, there's William Shakespeare's peasant, his name is Francis, sir, and then there's also Anne Hathaway. So it's really exciting to be able to direct a play with two male characters, two female characters. You know, it feels like there is some equity as far as the storytelling is concerned. But again, there is the title character, and that's Jane Eyre. And I'm really excited about this play. It was written during the pandemic, during 2020. It's been produced in a few places, which is awesome. It's never been produced in Michigan. So this will be the play's Michigan premiere. And I'm really excited about that. The title character, I've seen the title character played different ways in just the research that I've done, but the title character is a Black woman, and she is quite incredible. Whoever gets this role is going to be quite satisfied with this really robust story that they get to tell about this woman who really creates life-changing impact in William Shakespeare's career. He's at a place in his life where he has writer's block, and he is quite lonely in his life, and is feeling quite isolated and doesn't know sort of what steps to take next in his career and in his life as, you know, a very successful playwright at this point. Because the play, it's around the time of the plague in the play in the 16th century, and he doesn't really have a map, a blueprint for where he wants to go next with his story of King Lear until Jane shows up. And so, yeah, I feel like this is the perfect moment for me to direct a play like this. I haven't directed at Shakespeare in Detroit since 2023, really. So it's exciting to be back in the director's chair at the organization that I founded. And it's especially an honor to be able to tell a story about a Black woman who has really changed the course of history. The story's fictional, but it applies. And I hope you come see it to know what I'm talking about. Tickets aren't on sale yet, but they'll be on sale next month, and there will be a early bird special, so stay tuned for that. Our Patreon members, they always get a discount because they are Shakespeare in Detroit members. So if you're a Patreon member, make sure you stand by for your discount information. And our Patreon members have known about this show for a while. They have access to the script, so they've known that we were going to do the show for a while now. And if any of you are watching, I hope you've enjoyed the script, and I can't wait for you to see the show in person. As far as the company update, I want to also give that. I'll get more specific, you know, the closer that we get to Jane Eyre, but I will sort of give you all a little bit of some insight into what's happening at Shakespeare in Detroit. You know, as you might have been able to tell from my previous post, the world is changing. Well, you don't need my post to know that the world is changing. But I have to tell you, you know, one of the things that I'm so proud of about Shakespeare in Detroit's journey is that it's pretty documented. It's pretty well documented if you're checking for it, right? Like, you can go back 12 years on this YouTube channel to see where we were in the beginning of the journey. And, you know, you have my most recent videos, so you can really sort of track the journey of Shakespeare in Detroit. There's so many things that I'm proud of about this organization. I still remain the only Black leader in the arts and specifically in theater that is actually from Detroit, born and raised. Some people don't like when I say that. I don't know why. It makes them feel some sort of way, which is really weird. It's just a fact. But for me, it does have meaning for me personally because I don't really see a lot of leadership in the city of Detroit that is local. And I definitely don't see a lot of leadership for women of color. And I know there's been a lot of social and political changes that have happened over the past 5 years. But socially, it doesn't change for me that, I show up and live in this body no matter what. And, Shakespeare in Detroit, one of the things I'm also proud of about us is that we were the first to ever do professional Shakespeare in the city. Ever. Nobody else was checking for classical theater in the city of Detroit at that particular time. There's a photo of me that Southwest Airlines took several years ago. And this was, you can see that downtown was quite quiet. And even the road Woodward, which is behind me because I'm on a balcony, is sort of torn up. It's been broken up because they were working on the Q line. So this predates the Q line. It predates our time, predates a lot of things in the city of Detroit. Because we're pioneers and, nobody can take that away from us. When you're the first, you're the first, you're the first. And that's just facts. That's just history. I'm also proud of the fact that Shakespeare in Detroit has never been in debt. We've never been in the red. We've mostly stayed in the black, which is quite rare for an arts organization. I'm also proud that we've had we've been brave enough to say, hey, we're going to do Shakespeare in the Rust Belt. I think anybody who does Shakespeare in the Rust Belt has to have the energy, the fortitude, and the don't give upness to make it happen because it isn't New York, it's not Chicago, it's not Los Angeles. And I've learned that it won't be. Those cities have their own sort of dynamics and their own relationship with the arts. And so sometimes if you're from the Rust Belt, you have to create the culture specifically for classical arts. And I'm so proud that Shakespeare in Detroit has created a lane for itself. I think that's so cool and I'm so proud of that. And other people have jumped on that lane or in that lane that we created. Because again, we're pioneers, pioneers who've never had debt. And I also want to say, if you're pioneers who've never had debt, I think that needs to get more love and appreciation because there's some people who have managed budgets of millions of dollars, but they've seen, deficits or have had to manage, being in the red. We've never had that experience. And so even if you have a $40 million organization, but you're in the red, is that on par with an organization that may have a smaller budget, but has never experienced the deficit? I'm really literally just asking, but I'm proud as the founder of Shakespeare in Detroit that we've never had debt. And that's a major part of our legacy. Yeah, it is. So for anybody who supported us, that we have been responsible. But yeah, I think we're in a point in our journey. I'm in a point in my journey as the founding artistic and executive director of Shakespeare in Detroit, where we are looking for some evolution, some shifts in the way that we show up in the world and how we contribute to the city of Detroit. I'm proud because this summer, of course, we're going to produce our youth Hamlet, and one of our former STEAM students, Arise Rock, is going to direct that. And if you didn't see that announcement with her, I'm going to post it in this video in the description so you can check out that announcement. And that show will mark $100,000 in scholarships to Detroit youth that Shakespeare in Detroit has given out in the past 5 summers. Yeah, there's a lot to be proud of at Shakespeare in Detroit. And I hope that if you're a supporter, an audience member, someone who has been with us along the way, that you feel proud to have supported a fiscally responsible, creative, innovative, pioneering organization that is Shakespeare in Detroit. And but I just wanted to come here and announce Jane Anger. It's coming very soon. It's a farcical, fun, high energy play, and it's, as a director, I think it's really challenging because you want to play the farce, but you don't want it to be goofy. You know what I mean? Because it still needs to be intellectual. It still needs to be grounded. And so I'm excited about exploring how we can get there and meet that challenge. Myself and the 4 actors who will play the roles of William Shakespeare, Jane Eyre, the titular role, Francis Sir, and of course Anne Hathaway. We have auditions this Saturday. If you're interested, there's still a couple of slots left. You can email us at info@shakespeareindetroit.com. It's right here to learn more about auditions. And yeah, thank you for stopping by this video. You all are incredible. I appreciate you so very much. Stand by. There's more coming from Shakespeare in Detroit this summer and this fall. And then there's, you know, our future is bright, but it may be different than what you have seen or have come to expect from Shakespeare in Detroit in the past. The world is changing, and so are we, and we're so glad that you're here. Don't forget to subscribe. Oh yeah, if you haven't subscribed already to this YouTube channel, you can be the first. Well, besides our Patreon members, you can be one of the first to know what's happening at your favorite classical theater right here in the city of Detroit, Shakespeare in Detroit. So don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all really, really soon. Bye.